Penguin Random House Audio presents No Ordinary Love by Myah Ariel. Read for you by Yinka Ladeinde. For the broken hearts in search of healing, you have a right to require only love. 1. I don't necessarily want to be a strong person. I just keep going. Tina Turner. I shouldn't have worn the wig. It was bad enough Cheryl wasn't available to help me install it properly. Now it's sitting about 1/8 of an inch too high on my hairline and digging into the base of my neck. But since it's my signature look, long, dark chocolate with a body wave, I'm pretty sure that blue pinstripe suit wearing dude positioned at my 4 o'clock near the turnstile just spotted me. And, yep, now he's got his cell phone camera trained in my direction, primed to snap a photo. I cock my head to the side and marvel at the boldness. Most people have the decency to at least pretend they're on FaceTime or using a selfie cam to check for a seed in their teeth. That he should be ashamed to openly invade my privacy is a notion entirely lost on this man. And I have to say, I'm impressed by the audacity. Grunting, I angle my body slightly to reposition my purse strap on my shoulder, while willing the elevator to put some pep in its descent from the 30th floor. Thankfully, this corporate lawyer type turned amateur paparazzo is waiting near the elevators for the odd floors, which means soon I'll be free of him. I could kick myself, though, because more than likely, by tonight, his photos will have graced the shade room under a headline that reads something like, Simone spotted at divorce attorney's office, and my publicist, Lydia, will suffer a cardiac event. In her defense, my coming here alone was ill-advised. If she'd gotten her way, I'd have sent my manager, Angelo, who would have patched me in over Zoom. But if she'd truly gotten her way, there would be no reason for this visit at all, because I'd be doing the wise thing for my career and staying attached to Elliot Majors. But these days, I'm impervious to wise counsel. Ironic, given the reasons I've shown up here today. Excuse me, miss. I'm sorry, but I'm such a huge fan. The words tumble down at me from about half a foot up and behind my left shoulder. It looks like blue pinstripe suit has gathered up the courage, or decency rather, to approach the subject of his impromptu photo essay. Behind my shades, I roll my eyes. Damn this slow-ass elevator. Suit man probably just wants to confirm that I'm me before he shoots those grainy snaps off to the highest bidder. I turn and plaster on the trained smile I've adopted. It says, I'm a nice person who's got both hot sauce and mace in her bag. Reluctantly, I extend my hand to shake his. Hi, how are you? I say politely, if a little restrained. A tactic meant to signal that this interaction will be brief. He encases my hand with his damp palm, aggressively shaking it in return. Wow, I can't believe it's you, he exclaims, with beads of sweat dotting his brow. Would you mind? Assuming he's about to ask me to sign something, I reach in my purse for a pen. But before I can object, he's angled himself next to me and raised his phone with the camera flipped to selfie mode. At the last second, I noticed it's toggled to record. Imaginary sirens blare in my ears. I open my mouth to protest, but he steamrolls ahead. Can you sing a little bit of that one song? What was it? He muses. My face pricks with heat from mortification, and then he proceeds to perform a boisterous and breathtakingly pitchy rendition of Bitch Better Have My Money. He bobs and weaves, making little swiping motions with his hands, and these dance moves are so aggressively unpredictable, I have to take a step back to avoid being headbutted or sideswiped when he shouts the lyric, I call the shots, like brah. I am simultaneously frozen in shock and utterly awed by what I am witnessing. Then I deflate. Not out of disappointment that I've apparently been mistaken for Rihanna, or that in this post-listening and learning and doing better America we find ourselves in, some people still fail at individuating Black folks with markedly distinct physical characteristics. But all that previous pent-up fear and anxiety whooshes out of me like a popped balloon. He hasn't the faintest idea of who I am. That means my secret's safe. For now, at least. The performance, which lasted for probably 15 seconds, but felt like an hour, is over now, and he's gesturing toward me like it's my turn to do a little ditty for him. The nerve. I may be an entertainer, but I'm not here, at this moment, for his entertainment. And before he can tap the record button with his thumb, I reach up and block his camera lens with my hand. This has been fun and all, but actually, I'd prefer it if you didn't, I say. Then I crane my neck and train a panicked help glance at the well-dressed security guard who's been dutifully manning the turnstile. Almost instantly, he clocks my distress and glides over to assist. "Excuse me, sir, but there's no filming allowed in the lobby." Ding! Like an answered prayer, the elevator opens, depositing a handful of overly starched individuals with stern expressions on their faces. I step aside to let them exit, just as the security guard, whose name is Jamal according to his badge, gently nudges Rihanna's biggest fan farther away from me. And before I step onto the waiting elevator, Jamal leans over and whispers in my ear, "Don't worry, Miss Simone. Promise I won't tell." He winks, and I smile, just as the doors close. Her body language is like tea leaves. As if on cue, with the flip of each page, she raises an impeccably laminated eyebrow and releases a tiny strangled sound of distaste from between her porcelain veneers. It's hotter than I expected here on the 37th floor of 1901 Avenue of the Stars. But Janet Waterman is in her element. Like they've programmed the thermostat with her DNA as the baseline. I'm seated in the main conference room of Waterman, Schuster, and Milner, trying not to sweat, while the Ice Queen herself, as coined by the Daily Mail, appraises my fate. And by the looks of it, I'm fucked. I've always wondered if that moniker had more to do with the chilly vibe she projects when strutting down Hill Street in red bottoms with cameras flashing and paps demanding statements on her high-profile clients, or with her reputation for protecting said clients' icy assets from being pillaged in the process of their acrimonious decouplings. Now I'm thinking it's an even split. I chart Janet Waterman's eyes as they descend past each cursed clause of the prenuptial agreement I entered into when I was just 20 years old. And even though hindsight has proven I was too young and too ignorant to comprehend the gravity of what I was signing away, perhaps more pathetic is the part where I was too in love and too drunk on the promise of a life with the Elliot Majors to care. Finished reading now. She slides the crisp printout across the frosted glass conference table toward her paralegal and crosses two perfectly manicured hands. I notice a rose gold Patek Philippe encircling her left wrist, and I have to stifle a groan. 10 years ago, I'd have fainted in the mere presence of a $40,000 watch. Now, I've got one to match, sitting in a box somewhere in a penthouse I don't plan to return to. Ironically, it was a gift from Elliot on our 8th wedding anniversary, which, with Janet's help, will have been our last. "I'm sure you've anticipated what I'm about to say," she asks, her voice clear and resonant as a bell. The kind of voice that cuts through the chatter of a crowded room. It sets me at ease in a way that's quite rare. Perhaps it comes with the territory of being a professional vocalist, that I find myself instinctively appraising the timbre and tone of each new voice I encounter. I shake my head, realizing my delay.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?